All right. Segment 1 on a Smoke 'em Up Saturday here in a mid-sack. It is a balmy early spring, dare I say, opening weekend Major League Baseball. We will cover that in segment 2, but segment 1, and then there were 2, boys and girls, and then there were 2. That is the redoubtable one himself, Tom Izzo. Good to see you, brother. I am the highly questionable one himself, Audrey Miliaccio. Tom and I were watching these games with peaked interest this afternoon, as I'm sure most of the country was. This was a very, 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 just very deep and unheard of. Nobody, I'm telling you, there was like 2 people on the planet that had this bracket. Okay, and one of them, I swear, was, actually, probably both of them were Ford or Atlantic alums, because they had never
Can
gone
I
this
say
far.
this, though?
Yeah.
Okay, going into it, I wasn't that hyped. All right, and I'm
Fair.
one for Cinderella stories. I love it.
We had a
but
few.
when, I don't know, when the Cinderella's not your team,
That's a problem.
you don't care as much about it.
No.
You know?
Which actually is the best of both worlds.
Yeah, because you
they
can just
win,
kind of
great,
watch it.
but if they lose, well, hey, look, they had a good run.
But when,
They had a good run.
But I always hate when there's like 2 kind of Cinderella teams in one
Yeah.
game. Because one of them, it's kind of like when VCU went to the Final Four and played Butler.
Yeah.
You'd rather,
Yeah.
you know, although there was actually
2 great stories.
Yeah,
They were.
You know, so whatever. I mean, I guess we can talk about we're going to talk about the games, obviously.
Yeah.
One good, one
One good,
not as good.
No, not as good. And
but still great basketball being played.
the thing is,
in the
yeah, I
second
mean, the
one.
thing is, you know, we talked about this. I was vindicated saying this was the deepest field ever because a 4, 2 5s, and a 9 never happened before. And not even close. In fact, not a 1 or a 2 or a 3 in the Final Four. That had never happened.
And man,
before.
the nine could have gotten in.
The 9 was
My
leading the
God.
entire game, and you know,
FAU. That's heartbreaking.
I'll
for
tell you
them.
what, you know, the thing about, you know, you and Tom and I agree on this. We'll break it down at the end of this segment about Monday night because we both think Uconn is the far superior team. But San Diego State, kudos to them because that game should have been over, but for one reason, they didn't quit.
Yeah.
They kept picking, and again, they had a lot of. This was very similar to what happened with Miami a week ago, where they picked. Texas had a big lead in the center, but there was a ton of time, and Miami just chipped away and kept fighting and fighting and fighting, and that's exactly what San Diego State did tonight. Yeah. They didn't give up. They looked at the clock. All right, 13 minutes. We don't have to get this all back at once. Let's peck away, and that's what they did. And then literally it came down, and tell you what, whoever that kid was, Butler, the Butler did it. This dude comes down the court. Great call by the coach not calling timeout.
Yes.
You and I were all over that. Great, if we get there, just go. Don't let them get
Down
set.
1.
Yep.
If you get a rebound,
Just go.
Just go.
Don't let them get set.
A timeout totally kills
Yep,
you there.
yep, it does.
It lets them set their defense. So it was the obvious call, but
Yeah.
it's a call that not every coach
Yeah,
makes.
it's obvious,
Yeah.
but it doesn't always happen.
Doesn't always
so
happen.
because I think coaches are human. They overthink it sometimes.
Yeah.
They do.
Sometimes
They're
you
human.
want to control too much.
Yeah,
instead
you
of
instead
going,
of just let them go,
play.
let them play. You know, because you know, and this was the thing about it. That kid was 1-on-1. No one came to help because they were all still trying to find their man and not give up the layup to lose it. So this kid was ISO'd. He went down. Talk about not panicking. Like
Well,
3 seconds
as
left,
soon-
he just
yeah.
crosses over this way.
When he
I mean,
he dribbled to the baseline,
Yeah.
I thought he was stuck.
I thought he was stuck, but
I thought he wasn't going to
but-
get a shot off.
but
he turns.
But you know what he did? This we talk about this all the time. He didn't panic and pick up
Yeah,
his
he didn't
dribble.
pick up his
If
dribble.
he did, he'd have been toast.
He comes
And-
back to he comes back to his left hand,
Yep.
looks to the other side of the court, sees the time.
Yep.
Okay, I still have 2 seconds.
Yep.
1, 2 more dribbles, and then the mid range just
Literally,
pull
he
up
got
out of
the guy.
nowhere.
He got the guy to rock. He took 1 step back, stepped into it, and dude, perfect form. Held it up, shoulder dipped, everything.
No rim.
No rim.
No rim.
No rim. And with no dude. That
in the
was-
biggest moment of his life.
of his life. You know, this is why they call it. This is why they call it one shining moment, because that's what that was. Okay, one shining. That's why the song was written for shit like that, and that's why, and it was well worth it.
Remind me, who did San Diego State beat last week? Who the hell did they play?
Kansas State, KSU, I think.
Was it Kansas
I think it
State?
was KSU. I think.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Because that's when the coach went in there and said,
yeah.
"Y'all are the toughest son of a guns."
That Kansas State coach showed a lot of class.
Yeah.
He did. He's like,
Yeah.
no, that was awesome that he did that.
Yeah, you know, I'm a little surprised that San Diego State was able to get back in that game.
Well, they're more resilient than we thought they
Yeah,
were.
no, but obviously that's true about them. They're in the freaking national championship.
Yes, they are.
But sometimes it just seems like a brick show out there when they're
You know-
playing. But you're right; they just They're relentless.
They're relentless, and they knew and this is why we love March Madness, because it's never over. If the opponent doesn't believe it's over, it ain't over.
I thought that game was done.
Yeah, well, you thought last week Texas had Miami buried, but Miami kept fighting, and that was the thing. Yeah. So, I mean, kudos to San Diego State, because that's what makes you great. Because to win a championship, you got to win a game like that.
Yeah.
So, they got one shot at it Monday night, a neutral field. Hey, just roll it, throw it out, hell with it, roll with it, leave it all out there and see what happens. Okay, because that's where you are. Okay, and see what happens. You've earned the right to be here, and no one's doubting them anymore.
I thought FAU had a better chance actually against Uconn because of the size down low. I know that San Diego State has beef down there.
They've got a couple,
but it felt like FAU with the 7-footer, and then I think they had another guy that's close
a wing
to
guy, like
6'8"
or 6'9", something like that. It was athletic.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, listen, their thing was guard play.
Yeah.
They had guards.
That one guard. What was that guy we were watching?
Edwin? No. Something Edwin? Last name Edwin?
I don't know.
He had 24 points in the second.
Remember that reverse where he came onto the rim?
With the other way?
Oh, my God.
That was a pro move. But the bottom line is...
That was a league move, as they call it. That was a league.
That was an association.
Yes,
association.
You're right.
Anyway, they led pretty much the whole game, but look at San Diego State just kept fighting.
Yeah.
Like, look, they haven't buried... And look at this is where Florida, and maybe Florida was incapable of doing this, but they didn't. They had a couple chances to put them away, and they didn't.
Right.
And I don't know if it's because they weren't capable or San Diego State ratcheted up their defense, whatever it was.
Yeah, that's
usually they go hand in hand.
I'm trying to remember what got them back in the game. Was it turnovers? Because
the defense on the perimeter got tougher. That was the first thing, and they kept the big man off the boards. They did. They kept him on. In the second half, he wasn't. First half, he was kind of offensive routes. He was kind of controlling the game. They kept him off the boards. They kept him to tough contested shots, and then they rebounded. Yeah. And that's the thing. They kept him to one. Listen, it is very hard to win a game if you only get one shot of possession for an entire like 8 or 9 minutes.
Yeah.
Which is what it seemed like. And so they didn't have to get it all back at once, and they knew it. And that, by the way, that speaks to coaching. Okay, because they didn't panic. Okay, that speaks to the kids on that floor not giving up on each other and themselves. There's a lot of things. That doesn't mean Florida International didn't lie down. They kept fighting too.
Yeah,
but it wasn't a question.
72-71.
Yeah, they were. This dude hit it with no time left, and they were. Florida Atlantic was winning, so they didn't. Look, these were two very good teams who I thought both of them belonged. They weren't flukes, and it came down to the wire. They were two, and by the way, they were two pretty evenly matched teams when you think about the talent thing. So congratulations to San Diego State, and going to be there on Monday night. The other game was not.
Hold on a second. I'm looking up some team stats real quick for the first game.
The first game,
if we could.
Sure.
So hold that thought.
Yes, let's hold that thought. Actually, I'm going to hold the Dr. Pepper. By the way, this segment brought to you by Dr. Pepper Cream Soda Zero.
Zero sugar.
Zero sugar, baby.
There's not a better soda on the market.
No.
Not a better soda on the market. When you think of the versatility.
Oh, yeah.
When you think of the mixed drinks you can make with
vodka, we had vodka.
Whipped cream vodka.
Which was succulent. It was great to watch the games with, roll down,
You can go the Diet Dr. Pepper, zero sugar, strawberries and cream. That too is versatile.
Yes, with the vodka.
Remember with the whipped cream?
Yes, that was good stuff.
Might have been the best one.
It was good. They were all good. Points you couldn't lose. So
okay, so I'm sorry.
What do you got? Okay, what do you got?
All right,
give me something.
So,
lay it on.
It was a very even game.
Evenly matched teams.
Total team field goals, 23 for FAU, 25 for San Diego State.
That's a wash, basically.
That's
free throws.
They
probably
both basically went 44% from the field.
Yep. So pretty good defense.
44.2 for FAU, 43.9 for San Diego State.
Another wash.
They both hit 9 3-pointers.
Evens.
And they weren't shooting a ridiculous amount.
They weren't pulling a Jason Tatum.
There was a couple towards the end of the game, though, where we started saying that.
Yeah, why were they doing that?
Where we were like, you didn't need that.
You didn't need it. Yeah.
But 9 for 22 FAU.
Yep.
And 9 for 18.
50%. That's efficient.
Yeah, and 9 for 22 isn't.
No, 40%.
40-something?
Yeah, both teams shot pretty well given the defense. Because both these teams are good defensive
free
teams.
Throws hurt both of them because FAU went 16 of 21 and San Diego State went 13 for 22.
They missed 9 and they still won. Wow. Usually you miss 9 free throws in a game like that, you lose.
Yeah, I mean, I guess FAU shooting 76%. That's for
not
today's
terrible.
game, that's actually probably good.
That's not for a college team. That's as a team, that's good.
Man,
it's not great, but it's good.
Look at this. Okay, so total rebounds. What do you think the numbers were?
Oh, God.
In terms of who had more different number.
I thought that
there wasn't a disparity, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was pretty. I thought the second half that part of the reason San Diego State got in the game is because they rebounded better.
Yeah,
they did in the first half.
Well, yeah. So some of these numbers are not even because FAU played better in the first half.
Yeah,
but together, 34 total rebounds for FAU, 35 for San Diego State.
So it was a wash. Yeah.
Now offensive rebounds, 8 to 12
for who?
But
San Diego State or
San Diego State at 12.
Yeah, see, in the first
towards
half,
the end of the game, they started getting
that kid. What was that dude's name for FAU? The tall center there, sophomore, the white kid.
I don't remember his name.
Victor Schneider, whatever the fuck his name was.
You said it was like an Eastern European,
it was like
Russian.
Voldemort, like Vanderlander, whatever it was. But he was anyway, good player. He's sophomore, but he had like 6 or 7 offensive rebounds in the first half. Second half, I think he had 1.
Look at how even this game was. 10 turnovers, 8 turnovers, 17 fouls on both teams.
I'm saying this was 2 evenly matched teams, and they played that way.
Yeah.
So, again, and look, that game lived up to its billing. The hope was that game was a great appetizer for what we were supposed to.
The game was good.
We thought we were going to see. Now, look, here's the deal. The Uconn Huskies are by far the best team in America. Okay, and I say that for one reason: they have frontline talent, they have depth, and when I say they have depth at every position. I don't know of another college team that can say that. They have a backup who can play at every effing position.
Every effing position.
Every damn one of them. So I mean, and by the way, they play great defense also. Like if they get you in a half-court game. Good luck against that half. They get their defense set. They talk. They move. They slip screens. Actually, they know when to slip a screen and they know when to chase them off the screen and run them off the line. They know who the shooters are. They know who they aren't. They are very smart. They get their hands up in passing lanes. A lot of deflections. Stuff like that. So UConn is the best basketball team in college basketball. They are. And I got news for you. We talked about this walking in here. Look, at Miami kept fighting, but Miami didn't know. Like, they'd get it to 10, and then UConn knew when to not let the run happen. Like, Miami had 1-7-0 run.
They played too good a defense for them to have a run.
And the thing is, when they needed to get a good shot, they always get it. Yeah. They take their time, they don't panic, and they get a high quality. They don't make them all the time.
They held Miami to 32% from the field.
That's yes. Mm-hmm.
That's good defense.
And Miami has talent. They didn't just do that to anybody.
And then you could see towards the end of the game, I think there was some frustration and almost like discouragement. Yeah. They started chucking up threes. Yeah. And, I mean, at that point, they kind of needed them.
They kind of had to. But that's where UConn is very well coached because they methodically took them out of the game. Yeah. And whenever they start to make a run, they recognize it and they shut it down.
See, and that's so different from what happened in the Texas game last week.
Texas is not UConn.
Because Miami, I believe, made that entire second half comeback without a 3.
Yeah. They went to the basket. Problem is, UConn is so good down low. They can just come at you in waves.
Just kind of like a machine, it feels like.
They really are. The kid from Miami, the point guard, made 2 or 3 moves. Again, he made 2 or 3 moves in that second half, and they were trying. NBA moves again. And he made one over the 7-2 kid. And like he faced him up. He did a post move on him and a fadeaway. Like this kid's like 6'3" if he's lucky. And this dude is 7'2", and he faded away over him and shot it. I'm like, oh my God. So no, that kid made some plays, but one kid ain't going to beat that team.
It's a little shocking when I look at a couple of numbers here. Mm-hmm. Now, it didn't affect them tonight, and it probably won't affect them on Monday in the championship. But UConn only took 13 free throws.
Yeah.
But shot 53%.
They hit 7?
7 of 13. Yeah. Okay, and then they had 15 turnovers.
They did.
So I'm like, damn.
Miami's a good defensive team.
Yeah, but it's almost like if Miami could have played a little better on offense, had a better game plan.
Look, this is the thing.
They could have been in this game.
Miami is a very good defense. UConn is the best defensive team in America. That's what it was. One team played better defense. Both teams played good defense. One team just played better defense than the other.
Yeah.
It's that simple at the end of the day.
But they only had 9 turnovers, Miami.
That's
pretty good.
I'm saying UConn just straight up made them take tough shots and then never gave them, limited them on offensive, much like what San Diego State did to get back against Atlantic. The same thing happened here. UConn kept them off the glass.
Yeah, they did.
On defense. And look at part of defense is rebounding. Any coach will tell you the possession doesn't end till we get the ball.
Although they had 14 offensive rebounds.
Yeah, but most of it was in the first half. In the second half, when they kept them off the glass. The first half,
but why did it feel like it was? Well, I guess UConn jumped out.
It did,
and that hurt Miami.
Yes, it did. They hit them
because it took a lot of energy just to get it back to even or within a bucket.
Yep.
And then UConn would go, up, here's 6 for you.
Yep.
And then it was like...
they would do it quickly.
Right. And then it was like, okay, now it's a 7-point game. And then,
Then it's 13.
Right.
What the fuck?
That hurt them starting slow, Miami.
I think the word he's talking about or is alluding to here is pace. UConn dictated the pace of that game. They played at the pace they wanted to play at. They didn't let Miami play at their pace. And that's when you're dictating pace, you're generally going to win. Because you're playing the game on your terms. Yeah. What made the Celtics and the Lakers in the 80s so great, the Lakers were the best fast break team in the league. The Celtics were the best half-court team in the league. It was who could impose whose will on the other. That's what made that matchup so epic. Because styles make fights. You had the best fast break team in the world against the best half-court team in the world. That's what made that so awesome. You throw Bird and Magic in there, it's just that you.
But that's not what this was.
No. What I'm saying is
one style was just way better.
No, Miami wants to up tempo. UConn can play up tempo, but their strength is half court. They wanted to play at a certain pace, and Miami wanted to play faster, and they didn't let them do it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean it's funny because the only team stat I look at where UConn dominated them was field goal percentage.
They shot quality shots.
Because UConn went 49% from the field.
That's good.
And they held Miami to 32.
That's huge difference. But the difference of the extra pass, waiting and looking instead of rushing. Remember that time when the kid came down?
Had 9 more team assists.
Who pulled that? That's the other thing.
It was Wong.
Wong pulled that. Did the Tatum tussle? The Tatum two-step? Let's not go to the back. Let's go sideways about 24 feet and then jack it up without one pass on offense and bail the defense out.
Actually, that happened in the FAU game with the guard we liked.
It did. Yeah, he did that late in the game.
He did that late.
And he didn't have to be he didn't need that shot then.
Yeah.
First of all, they had the ball in the lead.
Were they up 5 at that point?
They were up 3.
They were up 3.
But the point is,
I remember going,
what he should have been thinking was go to the basket. I don't need a 3.
But also,
we're up 3.
But if you're up, you can use some clock too.
Yeah, he shot it with 14 seconds left in the shot clock. I'm like, that's too fast. And they're up 3. You do that when you're down 3, not up 3, because you're trying to speed the clock up.
Exactly.
When you're up 3, you need more possession. When you're up 3, you don't got to do that shit.
Yeah.
That's the thing, knowing the situation. So he didn't understand that.
So they got out rebounded by 9.
Yeah, well, that's solid.
But they had 14 offensive rebounds.
Yeah, and a lot of that was, I'd say probably of those 14, I'd say 10 of those were
They
the
only
first
had
half.
10 assists in the entire game.
Because they took poor quality shots.
Right. Well, they weren't moving the ball.
No, it was all hero ball. Yeah. You can't play hero ball.
Some of that was that defense because that's a good ass defense.
I'm just saying, but against a defense like that, what you have to do is you have to get the bigs out of the paint.
Right.
And to do that,
or your guards need to drive past the bigs and dish back.
And you have to have big men that can shoot jump shots. All right, because they're gonna sag into help.
But there was a couple times where the help defense from the weak side big, like somebody would make a move on a big they were playing.
They beat the guy in front of them, and the other guy's coming. No, UConn. I just said this 5 minutes ago. Miami's a very good defense. UConn is the best defensive team in the country, and that's what he's talking about. If you beat one guy, somebody was coming. You weren't getting a clean.
And it was like an unexpected. Where the hell did you come from?
Yeah, it was. You weren't getting anything easy in the paint tonight. Yeah, and UConn made that very clear.
Sanogo.
Yeah, that guy's
big.
By the way, what was his stats? At one point, he had 19 points on 8 of 9 shooting from the field.
All right, let's see.
Talk about efficiency, boys and girls.
I was looking at team stats.
Yeah, but look at him.
So Sanogo, 26 minutes. 21 points, 10 rebounds.
And how many? Look at his shooting. What do you shoot? What do you shoot?
It doesn't show it on this.
It's going to have field goals attempted and made. Go to the left.
I'm telling you, I'm on this preview. You know how this always happens.
Tom Izzo always finds the sports website that no one else in America.
Well, no, so it's like the initial. It's the thing that comes up right when you type it in. That's all.
You're just killing me. It's comical too, because every time Tom can't find the stat, the one.
I mean, I have it. You always ask me for one that's not on the damn list.
Every time he.
I was like, so what was the time in the fourth quarter when the man?
The man was a Vanderhoor. A Vanderschnitzel? Wait. Yeah. Oh, Stone.
I guess I should just go to ESPN every time.
Too late. I'm already here. So, all right, ready for this? This kid, Sonogo, 21 points, 10 rebounds, 2 block shots, 9 of 11 shooting. Okay? 9 of 11 shooting. That's elite. Okay?
That's real good.
They got one. He's one of many quality players this team has. So, congratulations to Uconn and Danny Hurley for getting them back. They're going for their 5th national title since 1999. And if they win Monday night, they will tie Duke and Indiana for 4th most all-time, trailing only UCLA, Kentucky, and North Carolina. Okay, that's the elite. They'll be with Duke and Indiana. There's a head table.
Dude, that's crazy. Look at their leading scorer was Sonogo with 21.
Yeah.
Then it goes 13, 8, 7, 6.
Balance.
There's another 8.
Balance. Sounds like a balanced team to me, boys and girls.
They got 17 points off the bench.
Yep, solid. And
17 off the bench might be good.
It is good if you're over 10 because you only have a 40-minute game, and most teams are not even 8 deep.
Actually, hang on.
Uconn.
No. Okay, that is right. Yeah. 17 off the bench. Let's see what Miami got off the bench.
Oh, yeah. They only had 59 points. So
17.
17. All right. Well, that was a wash too. So
their starting lineup didn't get it done.
Well, that's because Uconn D'd them up.
Yeah. So Wong, the guy we like.
Yeah.
15.
Yeah. He was a 20. He's over 20. He needs to be over 20.
What was his field goal percent? He was 40%. So he only hit 4 out of 10.
4 out of 10.
He hit 2 threes.
Not terrible, but not good enough. That kid needs to. And the thing is, he was going into 7-footers.
Yeah, they were.
There wasn't anything easy, and that's why UConn's an elite defense. You don't get anything for free. So in any event, this sets up Monday night. San Diego State, a 5 versus a 4. Uconn, who, look, for most of the year, they were in the top 5 in the country. And then they hit that one slump. And
they started 14-0.
14-0. And then they got injured. They lost 6 of their next 8, and everybody thought it fell asleep on them. And they never lost again. They never fucking lost again. So this is the thing. But they got healthy. They were amping up. They started to play their best ball right around the end of March, or rather end of February, right at the right time. And they were 10 deep. They are 10 deep. So they have, I think, it's theirs to lose. I love San Diego State's resiliency. I love their effort. I love the way that they just don't, that team doesn't understand how to quit. And they won't quit Monday night, but they're in over their head. They're not going to stay with this team unless they play the perfect game. And UConn's defense is so good, I don't see how you can play the perfect game when they're going to make you do things you don't want to do.
They're 8 deep.
They're 8. Who?
UConn.
UConn is 10 deep.
When I'm looking at these minutes played, they're
maybe they only played 8 tonight, but they've played 10 before. Yeah. So I'm saying they can go 10 if they want to.
Basically, they had a bunch of guys on their bench play a minute when they came in at the end.
That's not. I don't count that. If you
play, let's look into Hurley.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Yeah, we saw another Hurley sighting.
There was a Hurley, a
younger Hurley who was at UConn. Yeah, on the roster, on the bench. Apparently, he's playing there. Looks young, but we don't even know how old he really is.
His bio is UConn Huskies guard, junior. 6'1", 170, Glastonbury, Connecticut. Okay, that's not a bio.
No.
Tell me if
he's a junior though.
Yeah.
So he's got 1 year.
But he's been on there for 3 years.
Yeah, all right.
So he's put some work in.
He's put some work in. So in any event, he's the scrub.
His name is Andrew Hurley. Let's look him up.
He's the scrub. His uncle, one of them, Bobby Hurley, is a 2-time national champion.
He's a good guard in the NBA.
Yeah, he was. If he didn't get hurt, he would have had. People were comparing him to John Stockton before he got hurt.
Oh, he's Danny Hurley's son?
It's his son.
Wow.
He's not the Dick Boeheim was to his.
His uncle? Bobby Hurley.
Pretty good loins. Pretty good genes. Wouldn't you say, Thomas? Pretty good genes there. Oh, by the way, their dad is a Hall of Fame high school head coach. Coached a lot of guys that went on to pro basketball from.
Okay, but I'm going to say this, all right? I didn't like the fact that Danny Hurley was telling him not to score at the end.
Didn't want to run it up.
I know. I just feel like
the guy tries to show some class, and you're going to pick them apart for that?
You got guys that will never, ever again get into a Final Four game. Why can't they go try to put a ball in the hole?
It's called class.
No. That's called unwritten bullshit rules that nobody cares about.
Oh, we got his 2 points. The other team stopped playing when they were already dead. You rub it in.
They weren't going to let him score.
I don't think he would have scored.
Why not give him a shot?
You don't need to. And by the way, they're playing another game. Maybe he gets a shot Monday night if they're
maybe. Okay, but if he gets in again, the same rules apply.
Because it's the national championship. Fuck it. Let him.
I mean, unless it's no. If what you're saying
is
true,
if you're up 30 points in the national championship game,
oh, you better. So what? He can shoot then?
No, he shouldn't. I take it back. He shouldn't.
Right. He shouldn't. Look, I'm just picking on that. Obviously, I think Danny Hurley is the coach of the year.
Yeah.
Even though Shaka won it.
Yeah. Danny Hurley.
I think I saw that on Twitter.
He held that together when they went through that slump, and look at them. Yeah. So we both. I think we both. I'd say Uconn. What do you think in terms of a spread? What if you had to put a spread on this? Where would you put it?
15 points.
15.
Yeah.
Okay. I would say 10 to 11. I think San Diego State's going to put up a fight.
They're only going to score 11 points?
No, the spread is 11. I say
kidding.
Uconn's favored by 11.
Just kidding.
You dweeby. Anyway.
I think they're going to win by 15.
They might. I'm just saying, I think San Diego State's going to put up a fight. So I'm saying 10, 11 points, somewhere in there. We're not that far off. I mean,
I could see them putting up a fight until about 8 minutes left in the first quarter, and then UConn's going to go, let's just go ahead and tell them not to come back.
Teams that don't quit. They were down 14 tonight.
No, you're right.
So they
but UConn is not going to do
what we were saying.
These other teams
we thought that as much as we like the way San Diego State is playing, they're not as talented as Miami is. And I agree with him on that. But that's a talent thing. There's talent.
I don't think they're as skilled either. When you look at those guys,
this could come down to shot selection.
And UConn's going to win that game.
No, but I'm saying if these guys don't panic and start trying to play hero ball like Miami did, and they can hang around.
True.
I don't think they're going to win this game, and I think UConn's going to win by double digits. I just think it's going to be close to the end. And then they're going to end up winning by 10, probably because of free throws. So, but UConn's going to be 3 or 4 possessions ahead the whole game, I think.
Yeah,
and at times it'll be more.
It's feel like.
Yeah, but at times it'll be more, and then San Diego State will make a run and get back into where it's. But then they'll knock them back down.
Just like the Miami game.
But I think San Diego State will play better.
I hope you're right.
I just think they will.
I want to see a competitive game.
I think they'll play better because they're going to watch this tape. They're going to watch where Miami fucked up, and they're like, we're not going to do that. Okay, and
I guess my thing is, I look at Miami, and I don't know if the numbers would say this, but based on what I've seen, I look at Miami as a team with more firepower than
offensively.
San Diego State.
They are.
So going into this game, it's like,
yeah, I would agree with you on that.
You know,
if I'm watching this tape as a coach, this is what I would say to my team after watching it. I look at it. This is a great team, so what we can't do is help them out.
Yeah,
Miami helped them out by taking some bad shots and giving them a rest. You can't let this team rest. In fact, if I'm the coach for San Diego, I am running screens. I'm going to screen the shit out of these guys and wear them down.
But they could also never beat them down the floor.
I'm saying
I remember when you said that.
Back.
Yeah, when you said that, you were like, God, they're back every freaking time.
They're back every time.
But somehow they still needed to push that pace.
They did, but the thing is, for me, San Diego State can't run with this team. San Diego State's best chance is to get it into a half-court game because if you're doing that, that means less possessions because you slow the game down.
But they're going to have to be good on offense.
This is where I'm talking about. If you're setting 10, 12 screens on every possession, you're going to get good shots. Now, then you got to make them.
Well, I don't know. I don't know
if
this is true for that whole team.
You've got to try to wear UConn down because in the half court. Because if you don't, if you do what Miami did, they'll beat them by 30 if they try to do what Miami did. Because to your point, Miami is more talented. But if they try to play the way Miami did, they will lose by 30. If they try to play the way Miami did tonight, they can't do that. They have to slow it down.
It's going to be a shit game.
If they're getting quality shots, I don't look at you. A great game can be a great game with this great execution because both these teams can play defense. Let's be honest here. Both these teams can play defense. So would it surprise me if it was a 58-62 game?
It doesn't feel like San Diego State is in their realm.
Talent-wise,
what the fuck do I know?
They're not. I'm just saying they're gonna. Why I think they'll play them tougher is because they're gonna watch this tape of what Miami did wrong, and they're not gonna emulate it. They're gonna say, look, if we're gonna lose doing it this way. We're gonna stay in this game. We're gonna slow it down. We're gonna limit their possessions, and we're gonna wear down this defense. We're gonna scribble because you know what you
based on that last shot.
Yeah.
If that kid really does have a mid-game range like that,
like he does,
or a mid-range game like that, mid-range shots would serve you well against you.
Yeah, because you're not going to get to the rim.
You're driving to the rim, and you're going into their strength.
Yeah, you've got to be able to pull up. You're right. Good observation by you. That's a kudos to you. You've got to be able to pull up around 10 to 15 feet because the bigs can't get to you.
Yes.
Okay, you can get a clean look if you beat their guards. Now, again, this isn't a half-court set. You're not going to get a lot of
You're going to have to do what you said with the screens,
with the screening
to get some mid-range shots.
Yes, which, by the way, regardless of talent, you can do that. Okay, that's just hard work and effort.
Can you make those shots?
Can you make the shots when you get them?
Yeah,
that's going to be the answer. But if you're screening the hell out of this defense, remember now it's 30 seconds of shot clock, right? Mm-hmm. You know, if I am San Diego State, I don't want to be taking a shot till there's 5 seconds left on every possession. I want to make these guys play defense 25 seconds every time down the floor.
San Diego State,
because that's their best chance to hang around.
It's their only shot.
If they try to go full up tempo with this team, it'll get ugly fast.
Ugly.
And if they try to play hero ball like Miami did, it'll get ugly fast. They can't play them either way and expect to have a chance. Their only chance is to slow this game down and screen the you-know-what out of Uconn every damn possession and wear them down. Because here's what happens. When the big men get tired, because this is where Uconn's advantage really lies when you go to the rim. When the big men get tired, the big men make mistakes. Like they run through a screen and get a foul for them. They get 2 or 3 cheap fouls just because they get lazy. Yeah. Okay, and then all of a sudden they're sitting on the bench. Now, guess what? Now the lane opens up. If you are running offensive sets where you're having the big men in every screen, or you're screening them directly, you're going to get a couple of cheap fouls out of them out of frustration because they don't want to get hit. Okay, people don't want to hit them because they're afraid of them. Hit them, see what happens. Hit them and see what happens. Because let's be honest, that's their only way to keep this game a game.
Yeah,
they will not keep this a game if they try to go full tilt with this team.
I was just looking at the bigs that San Diego State plays.
Yeah.
They've only got that one guy, the
lefty who's good.
6'10".
He's good.
Their next biggest guy, or their next biggest forward is 6'7".
Yeah.
The 2 forwards they got coming off the bench are 6'6".
Yeah, they don't size.
So they're giving up some size.
They really are, which is why you've got to screen the shit out of them.
I know, but they're gonna struggle on offense.
Of course they are. I'm saying this game, for them to be in this game with I'd say with 7 minutes to go, 5, it has to be like a 65-61 game, something like that, where it's low scoring.
Like what they did to FAU.
Yeah, keep it low scoring, slow the clock, slow the game down. Take 25 seconds every possession, and every offense you run is screen.
There's no way the game is higher than that, though, right?
If it is,
neither one of them have
Uconn could drop 100 on these guys if they're stupid. If this team tries to go up tempo with Uconn will drop 100 on their head. They have that.
But they don't score like that.
First of all, if you turn them, Uconn can play fast.
Tonight, their leading scorer had 21 points, and it was the big.
I know that's all right, but I'm saying Uconn can run them out of the gym if they're forcing them into jump shots because then they get the rebounds come along. It's a transition game. Uconn is as good in transition as they are in the half court. They got how many guards does Uconn have that can finish? 5, 6? It's ridiculous. Yeah. Any one of them in the open court can finish at the rim. Any one of them.
I know, but they didn't.
And they're fast.
They didn't play like that.
No, because Miami was bigger.
And they're going to be even bigger.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. That's why on offense you've got to slow the game down. If you try and speed it up with more possessions, they're going to kill you. You've got to slow the game down.
So I see what you're saying, but they slowed the game down tonight, and they asserted themselves on Miami like nothing happened.
What Miami did was every time they got to they started taking those hero shots, and then Uconn would get out and run, and they did it at times in the first or two, and every time they did, Uconn got a dunk. It was ridiculous. Dunk and fast break. You cannot take.
It wasn't that at the end. It was really what Miami did at the beginning of the game that really screwed themselves over. But Miami
didn't run an offense where they were screening these guys on every play. It was like a high ball screen, guard to big, and then there was an ISO. Mm-hmm. That was it. It wasn't the Uconn never. First of all, here's what I'm saying. Miami never reversed the ball.
Yeah, it was one pass.
What I mean, the ball.
One pass into the glass.
If the ball came down on the right side of the court, it stayed on the right side of the court. The defense never even had to shift. Mm-hmm. If the ball came down the left side of the court, it stayed on the left side of the court. The shot came from that side. Defense didn't have to shift. Which means if you're off the ball, you can stand there and rest because you don't got to do nothing. But if you're running a side-to-side screening offense for 25 seconds, everybody has to move. Everybody's going to get hit. You're going to wear them down. And you're going to get somebody to get some frustration fouls because the more physical you make it, the more likely you are to get one of these guys to get a cheap foul and get them in trouble. If you try and go fast break with that team, it'll be over in the first half. It'll be over in the first half. I'll tell you that right now.
Fun fact.
Yes.
Sunogo's only 6'9".
Yeah.
So their two starting bigs are 6'8" and 6'9".
Yeah. But then they have the
then they got the 7'2" kid that comes off the bench.
Yeah.
Because I guess he's not as skilled as those two.
But he's good.
Yeah, he's good.
He's good.
And he's going to probably be there. Is he a freshman?
Yeah, he's a freshman or a sophomore. He's not going nowhere.
Cleaning.
He needs one more year at least. But I'll tell you right now, he's going to be a first-round draft pick.
He's a freshman.
He's a freshman.
He's a freshman.
Yeah, that kid's
he
going to
could develop.
Yes, and Hurley's a good coach.
Return of the big man.
Return of the big. Another one, Tom.
I wonder who he's got on his
the
staff.
Big man
that's
cometh.
A big man. I wonder who he's got on his staff. That's a big man.
Hurley?
Yeah.
Oh God.
I wonder if he's got any
I'm sure he does.
He's not going to have the guys
anyway,
like Bobby Hurley.
So
might have.
We both, I think, agree that's the only way San Diego State can stay in this game. They're not going to win it, barring some unforeseen miracle.
That would be really fun if they give him a run.
I think there is a way to do it, but
they've got to. Of course,
they can't play Miami's.
Of course, but if you had to bet money, you would bet money that it's a double-digit victory.
I said they're going to win by 10 or 11 points. You said 15.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, if
you keep trying to give a hope, but you think that
I'm saying their only chance of keeping it close. I don't think they're winning. I think their only chance of keeping the game close is to play this out. They're not going to win no matter what they do. Because at the end of the day, that team is just better than them.
Well, you could always say that about every game. Your only chance to keep this, but
how else do they win?
But you're saying they don't. That's the point.
That's their only chance.
Point. They don't.
That's their only chance of even keeping it close.
That's
it.
I wish there was a multiverse where San Diego State wins this game, or at least makes it fun.
The only way is to get Uconn in foul trouble.
Hold on, you just switched your only way.
No, to keep it close. They're not going to win.
You previously okay, so to keep it close, it's slow it down.
Yeah.
Screen on every play.
That's going to get the fouls.
Is to get them in foul trouble.
Well, if you can get them off the bench,
you just said the only way to do it.
If you can get barring an injury, one of these guys, you got to get them off the floor. You got to get them off the floor.
So that's the only way to win.
Yeah, they got to get
the only way to keep it close is the screening.
It's the screening. Well, the screening will get them into foul trouble though, because the big guy will run somebody over who's holding. That's one offensive. There's one foul on him. Okay, I'm saying that's where you get 2 or 3 fouls.
But if they screen on every play and there is no foul trouble, they'll keep it close, but they'll lose.
They'll lose.
Okay.
They got
to get our pathway to victory for the Aztecs, which I have to say is one of my favorite team names.
A perennial power.
Now, I don't know if I don't know if Aztecs is an offensive mascot.
Don't start that.
I'm not starting it. I'm saying it's one of my favorite team names, the Aztecs.
They're not changing the Aztecs. Nobody's offended by that yet.
I'm not saying they are. I was just mentioning, though, Aztecs were a people.
They changed the name. But you said that. They changed the name. That's terrible. I didn't think that.
I didn't say they changed the name.
No, I'm saying you said if they changed the name.
I didn't say that.
What did you say?
I said it's my favorite name.
Yeah, you said they might change it.
You referred to change it. I said I don't know if it's an offensive name or not, but it's one of my favorite. And then you said they're not going to change that.
They're not. Well,
I didn't say they were.
Unless someone finds it offensive.
I was just saying it's one of my favorite nicknames. I just said it's my favorite nickname.
I'm just fucking with you.
I wasn't saying it was offensive. I'm saying, how is that any less offensive than Indians?
Is it gaslighting? What is it? What is that? What is it? Just saying stuff to irritate them?
I mean, no, gaslighting is a little different.
A little different.
Gaslighting is like, you punch me in the face, I get mad, and you go, I can't believe you're so mad at me.
even though I punched you in the face.
Exactly. That's gaslighting. Is you did something to me, I'm upset, and now you turn it around and make it like
mad at me for being a dickhead to you.
Gaslighting is typically an emotionally abusive behavior done by assholes. So, this, on the other hand, was just me saying the Aztecs is one of my favorite team names. And as I said that out loud, I thought, not sure if that's offensive to anyone because it is a people, Now, maybe San Diego,
Aren't the Redskins a people?
What?
The Redskins. Aren't they a people?
Well, that was a derogatory term for a people.
Yeah, but none of those people, the Redskins, were actually offended by it. They were honored that they.
Well, you don't know that.
No, they interviewed them.
Okay.
In fact, they interviewed the guy that was
interviewed 5. That doesn't mean all Native Americans were not
I don't
offended.
remember even hearing about the petition signed by all the Native Americans to remove that name. It sounded more like a bunch of white people with nothing else to do.
I'm sure that was a lot of it. But there was definitely Native Americans.
I find that you're not even freaking a Native American.
There are definitely Native Americans that didn't like that. Now, the thing with the Indians, again, I don't know if Native Americans find it offensive when somebody calls them an Indian.
The Redskins were cool.
Because I always thought Indian was such a ridiculous term, considering it was only because of Christopher Columbus being ignorant to the fact that he was in, not India.
Cuba.
So I don't know if that's why that's offensive or if just naming a sports team after a people is offensive to some. So, if who knows?
I'm sure there's some tight ass out there who finds it offensive. There always is.
I don't know if you have to be a tight
America,
ass.
the land of tight asses. Somebody somewhere is going to be offended by something that 99% of the doesn't give a shit about.
So I think maybe you could say that about somebody who is not Native American or somebody who is not
if
Mexican.
You're a Native American and you're offended by that, okay, fine.
That's what I'm saying. You don't have to.
If you're a white person, shut the fuck up.
Well, I don't see.
I come from Native American descent. You look white to me. Shut up.
So, you can't always say that. I mean, a lot of people don't look a certain race, but are.
The thing is, no one would pick you out of a lineup and identify you as Native American.
So, look, I think I do agree with what you're saying in terms of if you're going to call somebody a tight ass for being offended by that, it can't be somebody of that race because that could truly be offending them.
Yeah.
Now, I also think there's a possibility to be a different race and feel a certain way about a word, even if it doesn't pertain to your race.
Okay.
Yeah. However, there are also people that just look to be offended by everything.
And they're usually on Twitter.
Yes. It's the selective outrage.
Facebook,
it's like what Chris Rock talks about in his new special. Selectively outraged. Yeah. Selective outrage. Like, there's certain things you'll get mad about. There's other things that you're okay with.
But, Tom, it's like you have nothing better to do.
Right.
Then search for shit like this to give you a purpose or a reason to fucking shout at them, whatever it is. I just don't get it.
Yeah.
It's just devoid of common sense. I don't get it.
Anyway, this was quite the tangent.
It was. I'm sorry.
The Aztecs. So I'm going to be rooting for the Aztecs, but I'm started to like Danny Hurley, which
he's New Jersey.
That's a little weird for me, liking one of the Hurleys, because I grew up not liking Bobby because he went to Duke
and he beat all his teams.
And he was a pest. I
loved him. That little rat-faced motherfucker. I loved him. He was awesome. And everybody hated the face he made, and they'd score 30 on him.
He's such a pain.
It made him even better. It's like he rubbed his nose in it. It was awesome.
But I liked what turned me on to Danny Hurley was when they beat that team. I don't know what year it was. Mm-hmm. Remember, I showed you a clip of that. Where Uconn beat somebody,
he fucking loses,
and him and one of his players, they chest bump, and he's in that dude's face, and they're like, "Fuck yeah, motherfucker!" Like he looks out of his mind,
like he's playing still, like he's playing.
He looks like a maniac, and then he literally goes from that to straight face to shake the coach's hand. Good game, coach. And I was like, that dude's nuts, and I kind of like it.
He cleaned it up.
And then, so
he could switch it. He could switch gears.
Yeah.
Well, downshift.
It kind of reminds me. You know what it reminds me of?
Change lanes. Game changer. Change it up.
It reminds me of my Uncle Terry, who.
Uncle Terry?
Yes, my Uncle Terry, who, because of his job...
what was his job?
He worked in a prison.
Oh. Prison security?
Well, he was a guard at one point, then he was a warden at another point.
Okay.
And he used to tell me about the switch.
The switch.
Like, from going from
Zero.
crazy
Yeah.
to normal person
rational.
again. Yeah. Now, obviously, two different things. We're talking sports. And then on the
hardened
other hand,
criminals.
we're talking about, like, a very tense situation.
Dangers to
dangerous
society.
People. Yeah. Just, I mean... a prison is one of the most toxic environments you could ever be in.
Yeah, you don't.
For everyone involved.
Yeah.
For the prisoners, for the guards, for everyone involved, that is a toxic environment.
You literally are walking on eggshells your entire time.
I mean,
because you don't know who's going to do what.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
And I mean, yeah, you can't feel good coming out of that place, whether you work there or whether you.
It's like, whew, survived in the day.
Yeah.
It's like a sigh of relief when you walk out there, you're not dead.
But yeah,
or stabbed
he had
shot
that switch. I've seen him get mad a couple times, and it's scary. Yeah. I was just like, whew, wow. Never been that intense in my entire life.
So much to unpack there.
And then that is the word that I would describe Danny Hurley with, intense.
Yeah.
Because he feels very locked in.
But you look at his team, man.
Well, I was making fun because he was still coaching.
Yeah.
Up whatever he was up with 2 minutes
he's
left.
Still coaching. And I was like, poking him going, he's not looking at the clock. He's still coaching.
I know. But I was just like, he's the type of guy.
He's like, will you shut up? You already got it won.
Well, it's like,
what the hell are you yelling at?
Sometimes
why don't you yell at the kid to go to the hoop and get a garbage time back?
Right. Why don't you let your son score in the fucking Final Four, you goddamn Scrooge?
My son is not above the team.
My God.
My son is not above the team.
Look, sometimes you just have to fucking enjoy it.
He did enjoy it.
No. Sometimes you just gotta fucking enjoy it.
When it was over.
Sometimes in the moment you have to go, holy shit.
He kept
coaching. We are winning.
Maybe he kept coaching because he couldn't believe it was happening. Oh my God, we're actually going to do this?
You're probably right. He's probably kind of jumping out of his pants.
He's probably like, oh my God, we're going to do this? I got to stop. Well, keep coaching. It's not over yet, dickhead. He probably kept telling himself that, don't you stop coaching.
It's probably what really successful people do.
His father.
Maybe that's why I'm not that successful.
His father.
Okay, because it's kind of like, if I was in a moment like that, I'd look around and go, holy shit.
Yep, here I am.
This is awesome. Yep. And now,
meanwhile, his guy's going in for a basket.
Yeah, okay, maybe, but we're up 15, so fuck it. Okay. Look, all I'm saying is,
hey, look, there he goes in again.
All I'm saying is, if I'm on the sidelines coaching, I cannot control the court.
No.
And for the entire game, as much as I want to feel like I made a major difference, most of the difference I've made has not been from my verbal reactions in the game. It's on the sideline.
It's what you did before the game.
Right. It's a prep for the game.
Yeah,
so that's all I meant was dude, your team's got it. Yeah. Like, look up at your dad and smile. Yeah. Look up at your brother and go,
he did when the clock hit zero.
I know. I'm saying he could have done it in game.
You know, again.
Which may have been douchey, but I would have liked it.
I've been saying it would have been douchey.
No, just imagine like in game if he just like looked back at his brother.
He's his father. His father was like that.
I know.
So if he watches his father win like 8 or 9 state championships as a coach, which is like Red Auerbach in high school, is what this guy did, and turn out pro after pro after pro from a high school program, and you watch his demeanor and the way he coaches, and what do you think you're going to do? You're going to emulate that because it wins.
And that's why he's successful.
Yes, because he never stops coaching. Which, by the way, you know what that sends the message to his players? Never stop playing. Yeah. As a coach, you never stop. That's why San Diego State is still playing because they never stop playing.
Again,
when they have down 14 points.
Maybe that's why I'm not as successful. And I'm fully
Maybe
prepared
that's why I'm
that.
mediocre Mo.
Right? I mean, we're literally sitting in a garage.
Half-ass Harry.
We're literally sitting in a garage talking to a computer screen. Okay?
65% Sam.
Okay? Are you telling me that you're fucking 100% Sally over there? No, you're not.
It's 100% Hank. Get it right.
Why can't a woman be 100%?
It's like, all right, Henrietta. Helen.
100%
Helen. Heather. There you go.
100% Jaime.
Is Jaime masculine or feminine?
I think it could be.
It can't be either one?
Either.
It could be either one.
I mean, it could be 100% Hermione. Now that's feminine. But I feel like names can
Still
go.
A fan of hers, by the
you
way.
can really use names across genders. You can use names across genders.
No, you can't.
I love a.
I'm just.
Danny. Danny is a name
Female?
that goes. Oh yeah, you've never known Danny?
I
Danielle.
never met a
Danielle.
that's her nickname.
Right.
Though. Danielle is her real name, not just Danny's her real name. That's her nickname.
Danny is Danny Hurley's nickname too, but that's his name.
I don't think I think I did date a girl, one Danielle.
But it's typically D-A-N-I.
I never called her Danny though.
D-A-N-I. Yeah, not every Danielle goes by that.
Yeah, I never called her Danny. But I only dated one. What the fuck do I know? I mean, but yeah, it was always Danielle. Anyway, so we both like Uconn. He says 15. I say 10.
Donnie Darko Brook. I just thought of another Donnie. Donnie Darko Brook.
Him too. Donnie Darko Brook. Donald Esteban.
Darko Brook.
Donald. Donatella. Ebenezer.
Brookenham.
Don't let me start on the British accent again. We're not doing that.
Donegan. Emancipania.
Segment 2 coming back. Okay.
Brookfield.
Major League Baseball first opening weekend.
Can we talk about some fucking baseball?
We're going to take a quick break. See you on the other side. We'll talk baseball. It's back, boys and girls. And who is that?
There's new rules.
There's new rules.
There's quicker games.
Yeah, more stolen bases.
More stolen bases.
No more shifts.
A lot of traffic on the bases.
No more shifts.
No more shifts.
No more shifty, whifty. So
unless it's a same side shift, which can still happen.
The same.
No,
can it? Oh,
so like the second baseman could go towards the first baseman.
Okay. Oh, that's fine. Okay.
However, there's no playing in the grass.
No more grass either.
No.
Damn.
If you're
they slicing and dicing this shit.
One thing that you can actually challenge, and I'll say this now and then we can go, but if a pitch is thrown and one of the infielder's feet is touching the outfield grass, it's a ball for the hitter. Okay. Redo.
You redo.
Yeah. Huh. Well, like the hitter gets a ball and now they pitch again.
Okay.
So like it's keeping you in the infield. So hits that were hits 20 years ago and 10 years ago are going to be hits again.
Yeah, because the last 10 years it all went away.
Well, maybe more. I mean, there's been shifting, but the last 10 years it's gotten heavy on the analytics and heavy on the spray charts for where guys hit the ball.
Yeah.
So, yeah, dudes have been getting robbed of hits left and right.
Because of the shift and things like that. Yeah. So
I wonder how that's impacted the all-time hits record. Probably not.
Only time will tell. But
probably
right now, we're going to come back and break down that stuff, break down the Mets. The Red Sox are 1-1. Who would have thought they'd win? I think they win a game all year. So we'll be back.
They're not that bad.
Yeah, they are. We'll talk to you in about just 2 minutes, and we will close with a very quick Bruins update because they're breaking records.